out and spend a few minutes with our athletes. And thanks to Nancy Lockett, who's done a tremendous amount of work for us. She was able to get Keith Young, who was the former wrestling coach at Cedar Falls High School for about 32 years from now. And Keith is a wonderful speaker he is, and this is the end. And everybody in one of these slides, let's up to him respect, so I hope to give his undivided attention. Keith Young.
Be careful when you come up and down.
For some people, they're funny, for some they aren't necessarily. They're just things that happen to me. I was fortunate enough to referee the NCAA wrestling tournament for I guess about 7 years. And a couple of things happened there that were kind of interesting, and I've told the stories before. One was one of the referees was from Colorado, state of Colorado, and he had a funny habit when he would call a fall. He would roll over, and then he would come up, and they'd shake hands, and he'd declare the winner, and so forth. And we got to call him the spinner, because he always did that real quick spin over, roll over, and he got it. Well, this particular match, he had that happen. One guy hit the other one. The problem was, even though they had red and green ankle bands on, and I'm sure he wasn't colorblind like I am, but what happened, they both had similar uniforms on. So he called the fall, did his usual spin over, got up, looked at the two wrestlers, and suddenly realized he wasn't sure who got the fall. And he looked at the two wrestlers and said, who got the fall? And I think they both went like that. they finally got it straight. Somebody else does this. I had another interesting thing out east, refereeing a couple heavyweights. And you know how that goes sometimes. But these two heavyweights had wrestled each other several times during the year, and it was always close. And they were pretty good. They were, had some agility and some mobility and so forth. But something happened on the edge. There was one of the guys who was refereeing, and there were two judges. It was probably the semifinals, and they had a couple of judges on those. And they went out of bounds, and something happened. Somebody pushed somebody, and the result was they started swinging, and I don't know why I did that, because every time I think back about what I did, it was a good way to get killed. I did put my head on the back side and took him down on the edge, and one of the other referees got a hold of the other one, finally got separated, finished the match, and of course I took a little kidding for that. They kept telling me I got a takedown right and I get your ball again. One other dual meet in Iowa and out of state, I think about the last time I refereed that particular dual meet. It was at Iowa University, and it was fairly close meeting. And we got into about halfway or 3/4 of the way through the meet. And the Iowa University young man was winning, and he was kind of a legger. It was writing, and I got after him, called a couple stalemates. And I finally said, you got to work the ball, or like that. I want to start partying and penalizing for something. Well, he didn't do much. He did the same thing again. So I warned him, and he did it again. I penalized him, and he did it again. I penalized him. And I said, now, next time you get penalized, it's going to be 2 points. But that time, one of the other kids only a point away and scored. Well, it's just like I was talking to the wall. He didn't do anything different. He put the legs in, figured forward, grabbed his own leg, and I stopped the match. And he said, that's a 2-point penalty, and I said, next time you're disqualified. And he reached over to me in a nice way and tweaked my cheek. He said, you're really doing a fine job. And I said, you're out there. Disqualified. And we got done with explaining that to the scoring table. And I looked back on the mat at Iowa University. There's quite a few people in there with, Iowa State and University. And there were probably 10,000 nice views on the mat where people were irritated from Iowa, disqualified with the rest of the meeting got over. This is the first and only time I've ever heard or seen, or in this case, I was unfortunate that I was involved with it. The meeting is over, and I was signing this morning in the book, and I could turn around, there's 3 security guards right behind me. I said, "Are you ready?" I said, "Am I ready for what?" "Oh, we're going to escort you to your locker." I said, "Well, do you think that's necessary?" I said, "Well, yeah." Now imagine, it's the old armory down there, you know, the old, not Harvard, Hawkeye Arena, like it is now. And we had an old band, and we had about 10 people down there. They were all sitting up down there. They said we had to go 25 feet. Somebody was coming after me. So I guess I was fortunate that I had the security guards with me on that. That's usually reserved for basketball. One other thing I remember with this gym, a long time ago, we used to have an old time wrestling tournament here. And I wrestled this guy when I was a freshman at UNI a long time ago, when I was a teacher's college. His name is Vern Hassan. I'm sure some of you people remember Vern Hassan from Plainview. I don't think he's farming, but he was still about my age, just young. And he was wrestling in this gym in the Masters group, and the old recorded, he was about 59 to 60 years of age. And he got to the final, and I remember right when Bill Matt, he came out and didn't know the gentleman he was going to wrestle. And he said, "I'm Vern Hassan." He said, "What's your name?" And he introduced himself. And those of us who knew Vern Hassan knew exactly what he was going to do. He was going to do the same way, he was going to take the guy down, he was going to throw it in volley, probably about a half mile an hour, and he didn't have the end of that. That's exactly what he did. In about a minute and a half, it was over. And they shook hands. Vern shook his hand and said, "Nice meeting you." Walked up. Short and sweet. I'll talk about thinking here just a little bit, and then I kind of got a title here for what it's worth. What it takes to be an athlete, or a farmer, a teacher, a coach, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever. To have some success in life. By success, I don't mean earning money. I mean enjoying what you do, doing a good job with whatever you're doing. And then I got some information here on maybe goal setting a little bit, and persistence, controlling emotions, and a little dedication. This isn't going to take too long. If I get over about 20 minutes, somebody points the clock. Good job. But before I do that, I just want to mention one thing. We always talk about talking to athletes about thinking. You know, I remember myself doing it. The coach would do it. Say to the athlete, "I don't want you to think, I want you to do what we work on, do what I ask you to do." Okay, if that didn't go too well, you know, 10 minutes later, the coach says, "Son, you got to think out there, you know, you just can't go through the motions." You know, so we really can do something sometimes. They don't know what they're supposed to think or not think. I'm sure you've heard this story. The football coach and the starting quarterback got hurt.
Focus, it's on Daniel.
So he sent him to sub, and he wasn't a real gifted athlete. And he said, "Now, this game's kind of in balance." He said, "Here's what I want you to do. Now listen carefully. So first down, we're going to run. Second down, you're going to throw it. Third down, we're going to run. Fourth down, you punt. You got that?" He said, "Yes, sir." So he goes out. Yeah, they were about the middle of the field. They scored a first down. Ran a first down. Got another first down. They wind up about the 5-yard line. First and goal. So they ran a play, they got a yard. They threw it, incomplete. They ran it down about the 1-yard line. It's fourth and goal. Kid punts the ball. Coaches, I'm in trouble explaining about thinking. I'm sure there's some parents that don't do what I told you to do. On the other side of that point, I guess, though, you have to do a lot of practice. You have to do a lot of growing, so that some of those times where you don't have time to think, you respond and react according to what you practice and grow to work with. Because sometimes the thinking time is just a short bit of time here on goals. I think what you really need to do in life and athletics is set some short-term goals. So if you want to make the team, you want to get a letter, you want to be a conference champion maybe, that's a long-term goal for someone, so I don't know. And I think you need to do that because on the the same token, I think you need to have some long-term goals. Maybe to go undefeated in the season, or maybe to win a state title, or something of that nature. And I realize there's different sports, individual sports, like maybe swimming, wrestling, tennis, and golf. Somewhat easier because you can be very good yourself and get that job done, whereas in a team sport, you got to have that particular season, you got to have a lot of players that are very good, or pretty good. So I think that kind of keeps you on task and keeps you goal oriented. And if you attain that goal, then you still got that long range goal to keep you directed. So, the other next point I had is being persistent. I just read an article, somebody read this article, the Register. A guy who's written a little editorial about Kevin Gamble, basketball, Barry Stevens, and Jeff Gray. They were having trouble making the NBA. They were playing, they played a little bit, they played very much. And in his opinion, three other players, Jeff Hornacek, Bobby Hansen, and Brad Lohaus, are playing quite a bit in the NBA. And what his point that he was making was he thought that Gamble, Stevens, and Gray were more talented and gifted athletes than the other three, but weren't playing very much. So whether he was bringing that in as a racial thing or not, I don't know. But the point that I thought on that is it still comes back to what's inside us at the time. Do we have the persistence and desire and motivation to go on and do a good job in spite of all the odds and all that sort of thing? Are we mentally tough enough to get the job done? I guess that's what it comes to. That's sure true of the rest of us as we farm or teach school or be a doctor or whatever we do. Another thing I thought up here that's really important, I think, for athletics is controlling emotions. And I know in a lot of sports that's a tough thing to do. It's so easy before that contest to mentally and emotionally play the thing through. When it comes time, you're emotionally drained. I've had athletes who did that. And they're out of gas in 2 or 3 minutes, they just don't do a very good job. And I think that you need to learn to control that. Don't get too far ahead of yourself in terms of emotions. You've got to keep your emotional stability in order to not get involved in that, caught up. And when it comes time to compete, you're not able to do it. Physically, it wasn't that you were in a physical condition, but you allowed the emotional kind of get involved and drain it away. And we can sure get emotional in other parts of life. Another thing I thought of was being intimidated. Have you ever been intimidated by somebody? Or allowed them? That's not a better word to say. Allowed someone to intimidate you. That's kind of what we get caught up with. Instead of staying on track and doing what my task is, I don't let somebody intimidate me. And they can intimidate us in a lot of little subtle ways, like looking at you or staring at you, or by conversation. Sometimes they break your hand and shake it, or sometimes they give you a wet face handshake. There's all kinds of psychological forces people play in terms of intimidating, trying to intimidate people. And I think you have to do your thing, concentrate on your task, and you don't let that happen to you. Because sometimes somebody loses the contest, and they were probably the better athlete, or the better team at the time, because they allowed themselves to be intimidated by someone. And then I got to go here on being dedicated, hardworking, and so forth. That's interesting. And sometimes that's just putting in more effort, more concentration, and so on. I remember a long time ago in the 70s, I guess we had a young man. His friends weren't in athletics, and they kind of put down on some athletes at the time. If you did anything to become better, if you did some running or you did some things, on the side to help yourself be better, that wasn't real cool at the time. And I remember this young man wound up when he was a senior here, state champion. But when he did his running and trying to stay in condition, he did that at midnight when his friends were, in bed and gone. So they never knew that he did all that hard work, the extra work in order to accomplish that. And then I went on to make a couple more comments here on, there's two sides to this. I think sometimes we're afraid to win. We're afraid of success sometimes. Somebody expects too much from us. So if I'm not successful, then nobody's all part of the league. That's the way it is. And we're not going to win all that. We're sure going to give it a go. We're going to get transferred. That's not going to get, it's just not going to happen. So what happens in athletics when you occasionally lose, you need to look at why. You need to talk to a coach or a teammate or something. Talk about why. And if it's a mistake you made, correct it. If it's not shaped, like that, for example, it's a little more hard work. You know, it's solid rock. It's willing to change and be flexible. That's a really important thing. Some of us, well, we get so sad. We don't like, nobody likes change. But boy, in this day and age, that's really important. It's going to be important for you young people to get out in the world of all athletics, and that's something that you're bringing that up. I've said for a long time now, I think, to me, if athletics don't give us these kinds of opportunities to prepare us for whatever it is that we go out and do in life, we shouldn't pay our more room. Some of you are coaches, we should pay it. You know, because there's no point being in athletics. But I don't think that's good. I think they're a great place for us as athletes to learn and get along and share and lose and bounce back, you know, failure and so forth. And that's all part of life. Working together, knowledge, working together. We don't like it. So I know you've had some good seasons here, and I'm sure you're going to have some, you're finishing up and getting down the wire with the spring sports and so forth. So those of you who are still competing, good luck. But more than that, be prepared, and good luck, takes care of itself. Enjoy being here, and I think I'm going to help some pass out some words. Stay up there if that's okay.
Before we do that, I would like to thank everyone's attention over here to the side of the gym. This year, as an art project, the dance art class under Mr. Craig,
Well, this the film will last long enough.
drew and painted all the conference,
What's the battery on?
other conference school demos, and then one of the talents they used for a while to be hanging in our gym. And I want to take a minute here to recognize those people.
Want the number?
In dance art class, Craig Ford, Gabe Eastman, Chad Dillon, Mark Coy. It took about 2 months to do that.
Yeah.
They did a super job. We're going to handle it. So I'd like everybody to give a round of applause. President Jim Bowers will present the senior class. Come on stage and introduce this young people.
Come and stand in a row and you're so people know who you are. Sheila Cornelius. Tracy Nicholas. Jolene Schreiber. Schreiber, sorry. Stacy Berkeley. Kim Wolfensberg. Sean Dixon. Jason Hill. Jason Lockett. Paul Schwartz. Dan Stokes. Chris Holford. Chris Lynn. Aaron Sherman. Amy Massey. Kelly Murray. Angie Muller. Bridget McKay. Angie Schmitz. Thank you, Steve. Maria Charlie. Travis Smith. Randy Hyden. Stacy Burkhart. Bonnie Simons. Waylon Tyson. Mike Boomer. Trey Howe. Robin Johnson. one of these plaques is written the words, "Thanks for the memories," and I think a standing ovation might be an art release.
I'm not sure I'm getting any of this.
Just make sure it says REC.
Well, yeah, I know it's too bad, but it's so hard.
Wait, you guys brought the whole deal tonight, not only camcorder. I know it. I hate. I've used one of those a couple times, and it just ruins everything. And I gotta be looking through that instead of watching what's going on.
First thing, especially in baseball, because of the extra time put in, special thanks still needs to be made to the parents for all the time and effort they have to do, especially for a lot of the young kids we have here that have to be driven in and out from practice and games. We spend some long hours in practice and games for a lot of people. During the school year, it doesn't take quite as much of an effort from the parents as far as a day-to-day basis. We are in a special situation that our seniors have been gone for a year now, and we usually don't get too many of them back. But it's still a special tribute because of some of the ones that we've had that have been so good in the last several years. In this case, Dan Parker, I made a list of the people that I've had and their career averages in the last 3 years. And Stan Parker led that group with a 402 batting average for his career. It's really an outstanding accomplishment. He led those groups, he led in total hits, he had 99 career hits, 80 runs, and 6 triples. So it's quite an accomplishment. He's also a two-time all-conference player. Shannon Stokes in a very similar situation. Career batting average is 392. He played the most games of anybody had graduated the last 3 years. He had 81 games. He was also a two-time all-conference player. Our other two seniors from last year, Scott Thompson and Sean Britt, both had extremely good senior years. So they both had over 300. Scott Thompson was also voted to the all-conference team. This year's group, a lot can be said. There were 5 or 6 people coming back that were started from last year. We have already taken care of our goal sheet for this year. We have, from that goal sheet, 14 of these people that intend to start for this year, of which 7 of them intend to be all conference players. So, if anything else, we should be excited just to see who's getting on the field. And I'm sure we're going to have quite a competition on different positions on the field. I hope an outstanding season from these individuals. We had our first
practice tonight, and it looked pretty good for the amount of time we've had so far. We're having a big hand for these people. This is kind of a special time for me that I've been an umpire before, and I know the kind of comments and whatever it usually said in the rewards. And we have a special time here where we've had somebody that's umpired every single Janesville game in the last 26 years. This year he's retired, or last year he retired, so he's not going to be back behind the plate anymore for this year or whatever. We thought we needed some kind of special tribute for him. So we made a plaque, a similar plaque that I have seen in some different magazines and whatever. And we decided we should give this plaque to Bob Gifford for the outstanding contribution he's made to Janesville. So Bob.
I'd just like to acknowledge a special thanks to all those that helped with the volleyball program. Special thanks goes to our video Stuart Glass, appreciated that, and to previous graduated seniors for doing the line judging, and to Tom Brickman and his crew for getting the preparations ready before and after our home matches. I really appreciate all that. Lastly, just a special thanks to the parents for all your support. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce our 1989 volleyball team. I'd like to state the applause by class. I'm going to call for my help first, like I do all season long. Managers get this, get that. So I'd like at this time the managers to come forward. And they are Jen Brickman, Shannon Soper, Bridget McKay, and Kim Wolfensberger. And I really appreciate the work she's done the last 2 years with the water. With her consent, I'd love to have her back, but I'm sure that's not going to work. I'll start with the top of the seniors, with Maria Charlie, Stacy Burkhart, Robin Johnson, and Trey Howe. Come forward, please. We'll really miss these girls' leadership and team spirit. Stacy Burkhart was named first team all-conference. She's the top contender in the conference at ace spikes. And I'll have to admit, at the conference meeting, I was the only coach sitting there that wanted Stacy to return next year. Unfortunately, everybody else was smiling at me, saying they were so glad Stacy wouldn't be back next year. Maria Charlie was named honorable mention. Maria was the top contender in serving and serve reception. Congratulations, Stacy and Maria. Up here are last but least, Trey and Robin also displayed a lot of diversity action and team leadership, and I'll miss all 4 of these girls. Okay, would the juniors come forward, please? Dawn Smith, Christine Stilling, and Karen Weidman. Hoffman, Michelle Steen, Christy Butler, Heather Lecce. Stop. Sophomores display a lot of competitiveness, and I'm looking forward to having their leadership back also next year. Freshman girls are April Townsend, Kelly Shealy, Kara Thompson, Jenny Regan, Amy Casda, and Christy Heckman. Freshman girls display a lot of potential, a lot of confidence, and I think they're ready to compete with anybody right now, so looking forward to having them back. We tied the fourth in the conference, and unfortunately we drew to face Dyke in the first round of sectionals, which was probably an experience for us. And the highlight of the season was definitely beating East High in a non-conference match of 3 games. Lastly, we voted on some special team awards that I'd like to announce these at this time. The winner of the Best Defensive Award goes to Maria Charlie. The Best Offensive Award goes to Stacy Burkhart.
time's gone so very fast, it's really incomprehensible. I think we've learned a lot of things over these last few seasons with these guys. I know I have, and I treasure an awful lot of memories that I'll carry with me forever. Over these last few years, we've learned a lot of things. The difference between victory and defeat is often very, very slim. And sometimes that line between victory and defeat is virtually invisible, so it's hard to see. But all these young athletes, not just these guys, but all the people here tonight, they may not always do the right thing at the right time, none of us do, but they have shown that they are definitely competitors, and they can hold their heads up with anybody that we play against. And I guess that's one of those good lessons that athletic competition can help to foster amongst our young people. And I think it's very positive. I would like to thank quickly all the people, or at least the ones that I can remember here, for doing all the little things that are necessary for all of our programs to continue. And of course, with football, you have custodians on the field, the bus drivers that get us there, the first responders that help us order, the chain gang, our videotape man, all the cheerleaders, the parents and the fans, of course, our families, our timer Bob Kipper, our announcer Larry Bronson, our statistician, my wife Tammy Johnson, and of course our assistant coach Jeff Gard, and we are also helped this last fall by a graduate assistant, which we gave him, I don't know what else to call him, it's not Mark. Mark Bohan did a tremendous job, and of course with some help from previous graduate, Randy Cornelius spent a lot of time with us up to the service last September. Moving into these awards, we did have two outstanding managers this past year, and one was with us this evening, Andrew Schmitz. Chris Fleckenstein was the other one. And those of us that have been around athletics and seen managers, we know that they're invaluable. And these two young ladies are just tremendous. Now we're also blessed with a really tremendous group of young men, starting with the seniors right here. And if you just please hold your applause for a little bit, I'm going to be announcing the awards some of the seniors have received. And while I'm starting to do this, could I get the rest of the juniors, the sophomores, and the freshmen to go on up on stage after? Okay, come on now. Come on now. As I call these guys' names, I'm going to go in alphabetical order here, and I'd like to have you guys come on up, shake hands, and give you your letter certificate here. Mike Boomer. And Chad Demerol. And Sean Dixon. Gabe Eastman. Frank Ford. Randy Heidemann. Chris Holbert. Jason Lockett. Jeremy Regan. Paul Schwartz. Dan Stokes. Now, leadership, hard work, guts, guts. I think those three words are ones that come to my mind when I remember this team here, these seniors. These seniors have set, I think, some very high standards of play, training, and just being good human beings for the rest of our team to live up to. And I would like to, right now, recognize our seniors and have everybody give them a round of applause. Now, as far as the rest of the team, while they're up here too, I would like
Sam Nielsen. Ryan Sleeman. Holly Thompson. Dan Ulrich. Moving on to our sophomore letter winners. We have a few of these this year. Jamie Evans. Steve McGee. Mike Welka. Matt Sales. Thank you. And Ben Timian. Of course, with this number here, we had a variety of people that participated. Now, we came up with 24, 11, 38 people, so I think a lot of these guys play a lot of football. Participants, Matt Sargi. Steve Knight. And LaCon Hoffman. Sophomore participants, Brad Taylor. And Matt Lynn. A whole slug of freshmen here, looking good. Got Todd Hilton. Brian Brown. All right. Chad Carlson. Joe Arian. Blaine Johnson. Matt Meyer. Eric Schaefer. Chad Simon. And Josh Montford. All right, good job. These are the participants of the letter winners. We had a variety of all-conference and all-state honorees. The All-Iowa Star Conference, this young man was the first team all-conference running back was unanimous. All-state honorable mention, and the 1,000-yard rusher was Randy Hyde. First team all-conference defensive back, Jeremy Regan. Danny Stokes, first team all-conference defensive lineman. Jason Lockett, first team all-conference linebacker. Chad Darrow, second team all-conference offensive lineman. Collie Thompson, second team all-conference linebacker. And David Hickman, honorable mention all-conference running back. All these guys, the all-conference winners, the rest of the teammates are obviously instrumental in Janesville. Won 3, lost 6 games. Those of you that do remember the season, you can remember the 3 games we lost by a total of 4 points. You can remember the touchdowns that inadvertently or for whatever reason were called back. We have to live with that season. We can remember how it happened. We always will. With these guys, our conference, in our conference, our defense gave up the fewest yards of any conference schools. So defense was number 1 here. And we were also to right at 3rd place in the conference in total offensive yardage, which was quite an accomplishment for us. Before you give these guys all a hand, I'd like to wish the seniors well, and I'd like to thank them for working with me. And there's no doubt about it, we're going to miss these guys, not just as football players, but as very good students and just excellent human beings. So I'm going to ask if the seniors would take a final bow and step off the stage, and the rest of the guys will wait a second.
supported us when we came to the games during the season. Second, I'd like for the seniors to step forward. We have Stacy Burkhart, Maria Charlie, Trey Howe, Tracy Nicholas, and Kim Wilkinsburg. I got a lot of leadership out of this group, and they're very good example to the underclassmen. They let girls jump right out there, very well coming during the mornings when we had extra practice. Very good example to follow. Their dedication and the work ethic will be missed next year. The rest of the underclassmen that played and lettered are sophomores. Go ahead and take a call. Casey Kaufman, Stephanie Green, Heather Lecce, Carl Stevens, Michelle Seek, Kendra Wyatt, and we also had a couple of freshmen named Kelly Shealy and Kara Thompson. As you can see, we were a very young team, but hopefully this Townsend football underclassmen team, the experience that they need should help out next season. They really needed practice time in the off-season. I'm sure they'll be very competitive. They're a good group of kids to work with. They never gave up. We had 3 or 4 games that we lost by a couple, 2 or 3 points, and they never gave up, kept playing, kept trying, and worked very hard. We had 2 players that made out of conference. One was sophomore, Heather Lecce. We had honorable mention. She ranked 4th in the conference in steals with a total of 58. She had 4.14 steal average per game and was also rated for rebounds. My other all-conference player was senior Maria Charlie. She stepped off. Maria ranked 4th in the conference with 108 rebounds for 7.71 rebounds per game and was also rated for steals. When you go through a season such as we did, we didn't win a lot of games, but I look at the hard work and the time and the effort and the attitude the kids gave, and sometimes you can learn more from those types of things than just winning. Some things I won't forget, and I can look back and I can laugh at it now. At the time I was a little upset. We were playing Nashville. It was one of our, I think our second or third game of the season. It was the 4th quarter, and we were down by probably 15 or 20 points. And the national coach had called his guards up to him to talk to them, which meant my forwards were all alone. The ball was in National's forward court, which probably shouldn't have been a problem, but one of my guards stole the ball, threw it into the forward court. Well, being unguarded, and the national coach told his kids just to stay there because obviously they're going to win. It was only a couple minutes left. We were behind them too much. We were unguarded and it took us 3 shots to score. And at the time it was very frustrating. I look back at that now I can laugh about it, but at the time it was like, what do? You can't buy a basket. But like I said, the kids kept playing together. They worked very hard. They never did give up. They kept shooting until they made that shot. I'd just like to mention a few highlights for each senior since this is their last trip up here. Some kind of funny things for them to remember. Stacy Burkhart. Because Stacy had an injured knee at the beginning of the season, and first couple games back, she was kind of leery to jump or pivot and stuff, and had a tendency just to kind of fall and go with it instead of jeopardizing her knee, which was probably smart. And this was a game against Nashville also. I remember she just got into the ball, and instead of running into another kid, she just kind of like laid herself out on the floor, kind of looked like a dive, but Stacy just kept going. Her arms kind of went back, and she just literally swept the floor for about 10 feet. That's something I remember about her part. Charlie, we always had this drill. It's kind of an aggressive drill. Mostly I do it with the guards. They used to be a little rougher, tougher, and get down in there. I'd have get on each side of me facing me, and I rolled the ball out in between them, and it was like a hustle kind of deal, like who can get the ball first. And Maria's never afraid to dive or be aggressive out there, and I'm sure she gave the janitors many heartaches over her brace, the grooves in the floor where she would wipe out going after the ball. Trey Howe got me good as well as Casey Kaufman. I made a bet during the season to try to be a motivational bet. I said for the forwards, if they would score 25 points or more, I would take them out a meal of their choice. And for the guards, I said, it was like 12 or 13 rebounds, and they did a meal of their choice. Well, Trey got a meal of their choice, and he scored 37 points. So I lived up to my bed and went out to Red Lobster. Tracy Nicholas, Elias, my Joe Stepper. Tracy is always hustling up there. I don't know, she just had a feel for the ball, or was always where the ball was. It seemed like we played pull a few times at the end of the season as well as the sectionals, and I think in the home game we played here, our last conference game at home, before we played in the sectionals, we were in the game, and it was like 6 or 8 times that game. The girl would go to shoot her pass, and she just stuck her, and we got the ball. So I always remember Nicholas for that. And Opensberger, I was probably going to hate me for this. We used to do a drill in practice when I had the kids post up. I didn't feel like we were being aggressive enough, or I felt like we were getting pushed on. So I might have went to extremes, but I went and got a couple of those big, kind of bigger kick rubber balls that you use at the playground, and I'd have a guard hold that while the board was shooting down the post. They had to push on them. Well, I know Kim did not really enjoy that drill very much, but she learned a lot from it, and it did help a lot, I hope. But I know the contact, and I think after we got the giggles done, that we were pretty fine to get on with it. I think right now, Julie would like to introduce the junior varsity.
Chris Holfer and Danny Stokes, I don't know if they were better when they played against each other and screamed at each other, or when they're on the same team and screamed at each other to move up. You don't realize how good, how strong, and how quick they are until you play with them. I know I go out there and I'm on 30, I'm in great shape. They love seeing me get out there experience because they know in about a minute and a half I have a water break. Competition and the will to win is probably the most important thing we can teach them. And this group has it, especially the seniors. Whatever they do in life, they're going to be very successful because they really try hard. They know what it takes. They work hard. Looking forward to great things in the future from them. Our season highlights had me meeting our friendly foes from Fredericksburg. I don't know why these guys dislike Fredericksburg, but they sure do. It was nice to meet them, and also Chipola. Last game of the year, they were rated 7th in the state at the time. They beat us previously twice. We went down to Indian High, played a great game. We were at 9 at halftime. Everybody's going wild on the radio. We tried to hang out, we ended up losing by 6. That's something to always remember and cherish. As far as individual accomplishments, we broke 3 school records. We had 2 people who become all-conference. Aaron Sherman was second team all-conference. James Stokes was honorable mention all-conference. We also have some awards we have. And with these 3 people, and the awards they have, will they please come forward? Best offensive player, Aaron Sherman. Best defensive player, Greg Ford. Most improved player, Danny Stokes. Mitch Nissen, Mike Kowalka,
stage before tournaments, stage tournaments and meets. They straightened me up quite a bit. These girls, they didn't want to take worked for mats every night, water, anything I asked them to do. Bridget kind of put me in a place where we were getting on the bus and I was just going nuts. Mine was running 100 miles an hour. I said, Bridget, you got this, you got that. She said, shut up, coach, we're on the bus. It kind of made me feel like I was a kid because he knew all the ins and outs of everything he said. Bridget? And Stacy, thank you very much. First of all, kind of recap the season. We finished 85 games. Finished fourth in the Bell Plain tournament, fell fourth in Parkersburg, third in Pueblo, second in Athlete, third in Green, fourth in conference, fourth in sectionals, fourth in districts, and fourth in state. I think the lucky number 4 is we run kind of wild in the favor series. I expect you guys, we win all these tournaments next year, hopefully we're going to wind up the same next year at the end of the year in state championship. I tell you what, these guys, I really didn't know what to expect from them. I knew one or two guys who were brain tired and who were tall. But as far as that, I didn't know them well. What was good with the rest of these guys. So I kind of decided early that I was going to push them hard from day one to see what they're going to do. But I tell you what, these guys are big kids, you know. They're hard-nosed, aggressive, and competitive. It's pretty quick going. We kind of went through one of our easier practices. I put these guys in the hell every night. I'm surprised we didn't have more guys for it. Practice at night consisted of warming up, running 15 warm-up laps to begin with, stretching for 10 to 15 minutes a night, doing our technique for 10 to 15 minutes on each, our feet, down and bottom, on top. After that, we wrestle. Some nights we go 5, 6 matches, maybe as many as 8 matches in one night. Non-stop. That was the easy part. Then they had the conditioning on that. We ran, every night we ran sprints, we did our push-ups and sit-ups. Starting off the middle of January, we started running in the mornings, tried 2 or 3 times a week for 30 minutes in the morning. We started with a tough time off the middle of January, which was 15. We started out 15 minutes of continuous movement. No stops, no breaks. Each week we had a time to increase 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, all the way through to the end of the season. These guys are in shape. I think I pulled them quite a few matches. Pulled the game for a couple of memory early. Came back and scored like 7 or 8 points on the guy in the third period. Came back and began on 15 points. 17. But conditioning, big part, a lot of desire to get off in that match right there. Yeah, there's so many stories to tell. There's a lot that I probably shouldn't tell. I won't. But a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't realize. I remember one night, kind of making what makes a champion. Through our tough time, we had one of our individuals starting to get a little sick, a little sick to stomach, dry heaves. He was pushing himself that hard. Randy Hyde ended up crawling out of the room. Just goes out and takes him off a little bit, and I went out to see how it was, and he was like dry heaving, he was sweating crazy. So you got it? Yeah. About 5 minutes later, I see him back in the room running. Things in the room, boy, things got pretty heated. People, best friends, pushing each other, throwing a few punches here and there. It's just these guys are being their best friends often happen when they're busy doing things that they're supposed to do when they're fierce competitors. Let's see. We got participation awards. I think these guys deserve a big round of applause. These guys they're the ones that are in here every day, every night. They don't get the recognition that the varsity guys do. Joe Ernie. Ryan Smith. Tony Johnson. Aaron Barr. These guys are all freshmen. Two sophomores, Matt Sales. And on the letter winners. Start with the freshman here. Matt Hill was 103 pounds for us. Josh Thompson. Chad Simons. Brian was excited Brown. Brian Russell Hayward, 145, 171. Made some of those 171 pounders look like sophomore, Brett Taylor. Juniors, Jason Warren. Colin Thompson. And our seniors, these guys really paved the way for these other younger guys. Kind of like to, you guys don't mind, give a little bit on the season of your past. All right. Jeremy Reed. Jeremy was 26 this year with 11 falls. He ended up 46 and 27 this year. Jeremy also qualified for districts, put second sectionals and third, fourth sections. Gabe Smith. 125 for us. He was 20-11 this year. He ended his career with 43 and 47 record. He turned his record completely around from the year before. He was 10 and 20. A big improvement. This guy, Jason Long. 294, state qualifier with 19 falls, and a career record of 89 and 33. Randy Hyden. Randy Hyden ended up not too shabby of a record, so 35-0. Capped off the year at placing first in the state tournament. He had 14 falls and reached the second milestone with 101 victories, 13 losses on the career. Mike decided he was going to go off the wrestling his senior year. I was also fortunate enough to go to the football program. One day we had a drill where Coach Johnson and Coach Knight stood out in front of the guys. We had 2 lines in front of both of us. The guys had a race. They had to get around us and back to their lines. Keep his opponent from getting they can't do anything they want to keep their opponent from getting bad first. Well, Mike Boone away, well, we put him about 1.5 years. Met up with Dan already, Dan, I don't know if I get 200, probably better than that, I'm not sure. Little Mike Boone, he gets out there, you can just see the fire in his eyes. He hits that guy with a hip toss, send him flat. I said, wait a minute, this guy. After a while, I was walking up the grass, so I was walking up to the locker room and felt somebody come up and tap me on the shoulder, and it's Mike Boone. What do you think, Coach? Are we going to show up wrestling this year? I said, Mike, it's up to you. It's totally your decision. So on the first day of practice, there's Mike. He shows up. He also, that's great, because we're trying to get him registered here. I don't know if there's any teachers out there that can't flunk him so we can get back next week. But he picks up on things so fast that every once in a while you see him teaching, showing the moves and stuff to the other guys. He picks up on things exactly. These seniors can miss him, and the whole community will miss him. already do. It's like that somebody else can have no one with us. Couple special awards here. Most takedowns goes to Jason Mott, senior. He had 85 takedowns on the year.
Just a little bit on Jay, I guess there's one thing, he reminds me a little bit of the cat-like approach that he has. It's kind of like a leech on kids when he's wrestling them. They'll go off the mat and wrestle a whistle, and he'll just stay right behind him and follow him, make sure they're going to come right back in the center where he wants them, you know. And I remember we were wrestling with Janesville this year, and I don't know if he remembers this or not. It's on videotape, so we can verify this. The kid had a bloody nose. I mean, he did something to Jason. The kid started bleeding from the nose, you know, so the ref stopped it, and the kid went over to his coach to get some cotton and things. And Jason came on to us, and we almost literally had a bully. He says, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. He's going to kill this kid. He was there to settle it down. So, why? He's smiling. I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, most pins on here. Holly Thompson had 21 calls on the year, out of 34 matches. And I think the biggest majority of those, I don't have a number right offhand, but the biggest majority of those were the first period. Very dominant wrestler. I might add that guy. Holly was also our second finalist. He finished second stage junior at 189. He's going to be back under Janesville for the state championship.
One quick thing on Tally. He is, we're always scared. He throws a lot of kids to the feet. He got a few calls on him. I think he scared a lot of the referees more than he did the kids in Russell. There's one ref in particular that I don't remember him. He's wrestling a kid declaring in the sectional, and Tally had taken the kid down from the feet and turned him onto his back. And I don't know, I still don't know how this happened, but he got his foot, you know, the refs were whistling around their neck with a string around it. He got his foot caught inside this ref's whistle, and he's just kicking the little bit.
Next one is what I call the guts award. Person who has a heart and determination, no matter how bad things got, no matter what happened, no matter what setbacks were, pick themselves up from that full war. This young man ended up kind of goes to show how intense things are in the room. He had his shoulder separated from the rest of the practice. Set out for his session tournament. Came back, wrestled many matches, all wrestled 171 pounds in the session tournament. Way higher than I think he does. Went on to place second in sectionals. Like I said earlier, there was fourth in districts. I think those things kind of show what kind of guts this guy really does have after how wrestling becomes separate shoulder, coming back and trying to achieve goals in the second. Jeremy Reed.
There's one reason that we found out when Jerry had his shoulder hurt and went on, we had taken to the doctor and just kind of looked at it. And I found out what the real reason was that he wrestled up weight, because we went to Bonanza after that. And we were eating there, he got to see him eat. He just didn't want to cut it.
Okay, last award goes to the person who's been the most consistent throughout the year. But it's kind of hard to, all these are hard to decide. When it comes down to this, this is difficult, not more difficult than the rest. It's most valuable wrestler for Domino's credentials in that city, explain why. I'll say,
Just wanted to say something to younger kids. You look at Randy, and I was trying to come up with something real funny to say about it, but I think a better thing would be to just make a point of the example that he set. And he pushed everybody, okay, and the other seniors did too, but he set the example. He said, shows you what it's like when you set a goal, and you just absolutely will not let anybody get away from it. And that's basically what he did this year. And he had some tough bouts and things, and especially on the state tournament. He had the tougher bracket come through down there, and went through a couple of the kids that were actually ranked higher than he was, and were in the finals. And I just do things kind of funny. Down the state, he beat the kid from Lisbon, was ranked number 1. I think we wrestled in quarterfinals. And I think, what was the score? 3-2. We beat this kid 3-2. And he was ranked, the number 1 ranked wrestler. So the kid's supposed to win it. And Jason had come up then later in the round, and I was coming by that same score table. Everybody thought this was, everybody's just going nuts for us on our side. But the officials, they were really kind of perplexed at this whole thing because none of our kids had records printed in the program. So they didn't really know, 0 and 10 or what's going on. And so one of them stopped me at the score table and he said, well, Coach, what's your kid's record? And I think it was 33 or 32, 33 and 0 or something. And I told him I'm 32, 33 and 0. They all said basketball. Well, that's no big deal.
that all kind of stuff in here, right here. It's like one last thing, I thank these guys for making my first year up. Pleasure. Thanks a lot.
It's a tradition in Janesville that when we have a state champion, we put his picture before he's in the gym. We were fortunate this year to have a state champion in Randy Hyder. And I hope it's one of the last time they ran his picture. He's going to be running in the morning with some other fellows on the state track. But just a picture of Randy that we made in the foyer. That's one thing that we have. We'll go. And the other thing is, we have a medal that we keep for a 100 career win. It's very rare in the state to go and have a 100 career season. So, Christy Hickman, Penny Sorgi, Missy Quinquist, Don Smith, Stacy Neal, Susan Lecce, Carson, Michelle C., Kendra Wyatt. Got second in our invitational, got second for Don. I have coached probably too many years of community sports to remember. But I don't think I've ever had a group of kids who are cooperative and it's fun to be around, who really made my job a great pleasure. I would almost send them nothing. They were a lot of fun to have around. One of the things that probably capitalized the best was we were over at Hudson on a meeting where he's looking to be at, and it's been raining, going around the big road and into it. We were running against Columbus on Glasgow, and 3 or 4 of the teams, Hudson, Ready Center. We were even the smallest school there, and we were in a 4-way tie battle for the lead. And I looked around and something very strange occurred to me. I was in the coach, not yelling for the kids to put out more effort. And I happened to know that he had a coach, and the Ready Center coach was from Janesville. They said, how come you're not yelling for your kids to do more? If you watch these kids, they are giving everything they have. I've never run with kids who gave everything. If you want to watch a picture of determination, watch Missy Quinquist as she anchors every week. She's never the fastest girl, but she hates to lose so bad that she'll do whatever it takes. Or watch Stacy Neal go to hurdles. They are a terrible bunch of young ladies, and I really enjoy being around them. I hope they had my nicer than that. Casey Hoffman, Kenny Griffin. This year, each one of them has their own unique job. Katie is the rookie of the bunch, so obviously she got to do what you did wonderful, which is mostly carrying blocks and that kind of stuff around. When I got upset, she was the one who probably heard it. We have a level, anyway, girl while you were in there. It's kind of unique. We went to several meets this year where every single girl scored. We're talking about 12 team meets and 14 team meets. That's hard to do. But every girl scored. That's incredible. But anyway, we have the Blockbuster Award for King of Canada. Jenny was my split taker, and Casey was the head timer, and she was doing scratching and do all the scratching for me. If they had food, I ate it, she took care of all the trivial things like getting the girls in the right races. So I really appreciate their efforts. And as the last effort I have for Casey, she's the hand these things out. She enjoys it. So that was our track team this year. If I had one regret, if I look around high school, those second place trophies are probably first place trophies. And we have no more trophies sitting here, and 5 or 6 girls who helped us tremendously, they were out, and they chose not to. When you're at school this size, I would guess you could even say it's Cedar Falls High School. It's not the kids that are out, it's the ones that should be out that don't show up. Because they're the ones that need it, they hurt the other kids, and hopefully next year everybody will be out. Thank you.
the year. We went to 8 big invitationals. We came home with a trophy or plaque 7 times. We scored over 100 points a couple of times. We were the annual high of 1A this year. You know you're pretty tough when the other coaches call and ask you when your schedule is where you're going where. And I told them we were going there to the mall. Oh, that's good. I've never seen a group of individuals come together as a team like this one. We asked volunteers. Amy Hyman, I know one time, volunteered to throw discus. You know, what a discus thrower. We had Ben Timmy another time, jumped in there, right forward, volunteered to do some hurdles, got some points, ended up winning by 2. Little things like that. Ben Glover comes around to 503 mile. You know, it takes me 5 minutes to get the kids in the refrigerator. We won 4 meets, including the 14-team Invitational Green, our own Wildcat Invitational. We got second 3 times, including the conference. We got third in the district by 7.5 points. We qualified 5 wins for state. We have the fastest time in state, 2 relays, and we are 18 100 seconds away from the fastest time in the other relay. We also have a person in the open 200 and 400. That's Winston McKay. The medley relay team qualified as Randy Hammond, Jeremy Regan, Travis Smith, Craig Ford. They also set school records this year. Ryan Squigman also set the school record in the high hurdles twice. He has the 8th fastest time in the state, and unfortunately, boys, if you don't finish in the top 2 in your districts, you don't get to go to state. So he has the 8th fastest time in the state, doesn't get to go. Our 4x18, Gabe Smith, Mike Boomer, Waylon Heiser, and Craig Ford had the 6th fastest time in the state, and they don't get to go either because they finished third. 3 of those people in our district. The 4x400 team has broken the record 3 times this year. The record when we started was 3:39 point something. The record now stands at 3:30.1. We talk about 9 seconds in a record that stood there for 16 years. That record will get broken in 2 weeks. That record-breaking group, and it depends on which one ran, was Winston, either Craig or Bailey. Used to love those scratch meetings. That's where all the coaches talk about who's going to run what. And I say, no, I don't know. Should he run this one? He runs a 52. Or should I run this one? He runs a 52. Well, let's try this one. He runs a 52. How about this one? He can run a 52. And their coaches are always going, yeah, I can run a 56. Let him run because it's okay. They've broken it 3 times. We're looking forward to the state meet. Like I said, I gave him a piece of paper today. I said, this is the number of teams that are faster than you. That's what the paper looked like. It's blank. We go by every time we go to practice professionals and pitchers to the state champions out there. We hope we're one of them someday. Now I'd like to introduce either the sweet or smooth 7. The reason I say this is if you've ever seen these 7 people run, they are really sweet to watch, and they are really smooth. It makes track fun. But these following 7 4-year senior medal winners come forward. Gabe Eastman, Waylon Heiser, Mike Boomer, Craig Ford, Jeremy Regan, Travis Smith, Manny Hyder. Now for the rest of our seniors. Sean Dixon, Chris Lynn, and Aaron Sherman. It's kind of corny, but I'd like to read it anyway. I'm not a master at writing poetry. After I try things, I like to write a thank you note. It's all the people that help. Don't realize how much time and effort it takes to help. I'd like to read this now. It's the families. You know, it's good to see all of you there all the time. We go to tournaments, to the booster clubs, and to the fans. The time is near for the seniors and I to almost really cry. Because we're coming around the bend, heading quickly toward the end. Always with us wherever we go, the memories we share, both high and low. The year was 1990, and it was fun, and boy oh boy, those guys could really run. We started the year by running fast. The Wildcat Invitational, but could it last? Yes, it did, but we can say we won our 7th trophy just last Thursday. Now we'd like to say thank you for all the things your past will do. When we ask for your help, we know we'll get and nary a help. Thank you for helping through the years. Now yes, there will be some heartfelt tears, but when we compare you to the rest, you will always be very best.
Sherry Gill is somebody that's a winner at life, and her legs doing well. Siddons, Christy Bauer, Heather Lecce, Kelly Shealy, Shannon Silver, April Townsend, Penny Storey, Sherry Dilley, Trey Howe, Dawn Smith, Casey Kaufman, Michelle Sink, Cameron Knott, Kara Thompson, Bridget Bouquet. Now, if you remember the order I read those, you get your letter. I told the girls when we started this year, I had 3 goals. Number 1 was to have fun in 1989 playing softball. Number 2 was to learn some things to improve our game. Number 3 was to learn some things that would improve our lives. We didn't win a lot of games. We only won 4 ball games last year. But we were very young. Freshman pitcher Carr Siddons got our first 2 varsity wins against Clarksville. And that was a good feeling. Then we lost 2 games later in the year that I thought we should have won. Against Denver and NU. Adversity strikes again. Casey Kaufman slides into third, injures her ankle, and she's out for the rest of the season. But the neat thing about that was these girls came back and won that ball game, and we had a really exciting upset victory against New Hartford. We won number 3. That was really a neat experience. And then to end the season, these girls pulled off another upset in the Appleton tournament, and they beat Wellsburg. Surprised them, surprised us, and it was a real neat feeling. I think maybe one of the highlights occurred earlier in the season, though, at the Cedar Falls JV tournament. Most of these girls qualified to play because of their age bracket. We were runner-up in that tournament against some 3A programs. We ended up playing in the finals of that JV tournament against Charles City. 3A school probably has one of the finest programs in the state. And these girls were ahead. We ended up losing that ball game 12 to 10. But I was really proud of them because they're finally playing against some girls that were their own age. And they began to see something I've been telling them all year, that they have a tremendous amount of potential. And against their own age bracket, they accomplished a tremendous thing. And I believe that was being a runner-up in that tournament to Charles City. We did only win those 4 ball games, but I considered it a highly successful season because we accomplished the 3 things that I set out to do. We had a lot of fun. We learned some things that helped us improve our game. And I think we learned some lessons that helped us improve our lives. So, to the ladies, I say thank you and congratulations. I enjoyed it. It was a really neat experience. I'd also like to thank Mr. Johnson for the exciting speech that he gave earlier. I really felt inspired as I realized something that I hadn't known before, ladies. We won more ball games than the football team. So, ladies, I say thank you. Congratulations on a really neat year. I'm just going to hand them out to Shelby. That'll be easier for me. Sherry Dilley's not here, I don't believe. Dawn Smith. Casey Kaufman. Michelle Sink. Trey Howe. That's because I can't read names. Robin Johnson. Carr Siddons. Christy Bauer, Heather